DOKKEN, the members of DOKKEN, joining us live in studio this morning on George Lynch's birthday of all days. And George, you started talking about the early days. It was before the internet and everything. How do you guys remember all coming together?
Who says we do?
Well, you guys had to meet sometime back in the day, because I've got all the albums.
Well, the one thing that was interesting back in the day, before internet and cell phones, they would mail us those giant mail sacks, and it was just letters.
Yeah.
And we'd sit in the bus, literally hundreds of letters, opening them.
That's where we got the name of our publishing company, Mega Dude. That came from a letter. But y'all mega dudes.
You guys all mega dudes.
So let's talk about the very early days of the band. You were called the Boys. I know
George and I were in a band.
Right.
I met George. I told you the story about we were in a band together and our stuff got all burned up in a fire. And, he said, if you're serious about playing music and really want to chase this, come to Los Angeles, where he was originally from, down in that area. So I moved down there and we had a band. Don, we ran into Don through the LA scene, kind of all formed in that way. And in 1980 was the first time the three of us played. And then we said, we're going to need a bass player. And then, Jeff, sorry about that.
I still love you, Mick.
So let's go back to the early days. Where were your early inspirations? I know, Mick, you talked about seeing the Beatles on Sullivan.
Yeah, that was my moment of, wanting to be in that. Clarified, I want to be in a band. I don't know, George, what was yours?
I actually didn't want anything to do with music. I wanted to, as strange as it sounds, I wanted to be like a forest ranger and go live in a log cabin in the wilderness. And that's actually absolutely true. I had no aspirations for being in a band or playing music for a living. It's just something I did. I never thought I'd make a living at it or anything like that. And I just fell into it. And I got to give, Don credit. I mean, it's a passion, love thing all my life. And when we joined forces with Don, he's got a gift for implementing things and making things a reality, as far as in the business world and so forth.
Obsession.
No.
Obsession.
Well, right. I mean, we the first time we ever went out of the country was Don got us some work in Europe. We did the record over there and stuff like that. I got a publishing deal, etc. Set up all the flights. We got on a charter plane, and flew to Reykjavik, Iceland, and then Amsterdam.
Yeah.
First time out of the country. Loaded up all our gear. He got all the gear on the plane as luggage. All of our equipment, drum sets, amplifiers,
which would never happen.
No, not today.
$10,000 freight.
And we pulled a lot of miracles out. Places to stay, places to play, how to record all this stuff. Nothing that we could ever imagine doing on our own.
Waking up this early, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, and it allowed us.
Hey, forest rangers get up really early.
Right. It allowed us to all have our musical careers, post DOKKEN as well. All the things that was the inception, and that's what started it all for us. So I've been able to raise, a very large family, a lot of kids, and on
how many grandchildren?
So I have 6 grandchildren on music, doing rock and roll. And Don, you've been part of that, man.
Thanks.
Helping me get to where I'm at today. So thank you.
And we did the rough thing. We were, it wasn't like we got on a plane, got famous. When we were literally rehearsing a bombed-out church, we rehearsed in a hotel called the Hotel Trost, don't ever forget the name, and they had a wine cellar. And I got sick, couldn't figure out why I was so sick, because I had some fungus growing in my lungs. And then we figured it out when Mick tried to change his drum head after the rehearsal. He took the drum head off, and all inside the drum was green mold.
Oh.
I mean, that's how we played our dues, is what I'm trying to say.
This place was a good place to put wine, but not a rock band, really.
Why do I think you sampled enough of the wine, though, too, Mick?
Well, I have.
It's pretty cool practicing in a bomb shelter.
So Don, what were your early inspirations to want to do this for a career?
It was an escape. I was raised in foster homes, and you got 8 million kids running around. There wasn't TV or cable or anything like that. And one of the foster parents was a drummer, and so I started playing drums first, a couple of years in the garage. And then I went to another home, and they said, you can't have the drums. So they said, so my mom took me to a pawn shop and bought me a Silvertone guitar with a little Silvertone combo amp. And I would just sit in the garage with the 45s, like I think everybody did, and you just play it, or just play it over and over and over again. Slow it down, so you can keep doing it over and over. And it was just old school. Jeff went to college, and knows music theory, and I think George went to MIT for a while and all that stuff. I don't remember, but I don't know anything about music. It's just if I'm inspired, I'm inspired, and that's about the end of it. I'm definitely I'm lower than my pay grade. So.
How about you, Jeff? What was your early
Beatles on
inspiration?
Ed Sullivan for me.
Really?
Too. That was
Yeah.
the light bulb moment. Absolutely.
It's amazing how much that band meant to so many over the years.
And that moment, the Ed Sullivan
right,
show in
that
particular,
exact
yeah.
moment.